I'm going to go to Google. You don't have to use Google, but you can use Google to find an image for the background. So I want to show the action happening. I went on vacation with my family to Wisconsin Dells last summer. I could look up Wisconsin Dells, but that's not really the action that's happening in this slide. I went on vacation. So I want to show a car or maybe driving. I want to combine some different pictures together. So first I want maybe the road that I'm driving on vacation. I'm going to type in what I'm searching for. I'm going to hit images. Have a bunch of roads here. I want to add another word to it, I think. Not just a road, but maybe a mountain road, just to make it a little more scenic. Okay, that looks more interesting. Now, when I find a picture that I like, I don't just want to drag the picture from the results page. Okay, that's going to give you a very blurry picture. Let's say this one right here. If I just drag it and drop it here and then try to make it really big, watch how it gets blurry. I don't want to do it like that. One other step I need to do. Simply click on the picture first, then you drag it in. And now if you make it bigger, it's not so blurry. See the difference between that one and that one? Okay, so I'm going to delete this one. Press delete on the keyboard. Okay, this one is going to be my background. It's going to take up the entire slide. I don't need to see, and you can even go off the edge of the slide because it's not exactly the same shape as the slide, see? So that's just fine. Of course, I want to send it to the back so I can see the text. Now, like I said, so I can see the text. I can't really see the text here. So what I want to do to make the text easier to see is, first of all, if there's somewhere on the slide I can put the text, so I can see it easier, that would work. Otherwise, I can also use the fill feature to fill that text box. I can fill it in, if I'm going to leave it right here where the road is, I can fill it in maybe with a gray so it kind of matches the background. So all of your slides should have a background picture that takes up the full slide and should also have pictures in the foreground that show the action happening that you can actually move or animate. Okay, so I'm going to go to find another image. And so I need a car this time to be driving on the road, or maybe how about a minivan? So I'm going to look up minivan. I'm going to go to images and lots of minivan pictures. The problem with these pictures is look at my road. I need something that is driving away or driving coming towards me, but probably away because it's kind of the way it's worded. I went on vacation. So I want to try to find more of like a rear view like that, except the door is open. And I might not be able to even find one. Oh, how about that one? All right, I'm going to click on that one. And sure, I'll give that a try. So I'm going to drag it. I'm going to drop it. Okay, and now, so what's the problem with this now? So problem is I have this big rectangle around it. And in fact, any picture that you use from the internet is going to have a rectangle around it. Now, I can eliminate that rectangle. Let me just grab a picture with a white rectangle, just for an example. That one's actually going to be too big. Let me try this one. And I'm just going to drop it right here, just as a demonstration. There is a tool in Keynote that lets you eliminate the background. Okay, and it is called the Alpha tool. Right up here at the top, there's a button that says Alpha. And in graphics, Alpha means transparency. So when I have this picture selected, I can click on the Alpha tool, and I can alpha out whatever I click on. If I click once, it will get rid of it. Notice it left a little bit around it. I'm going to show you how to fix that. I'm going to undo, and I'm going to not just click on it with the Alpha tool, but I'm going to click and drag. And the more I drag, the more it erases. If I drag like that, it should erase just about everything. It left some of the shadow, but that's not a big deal. I'm going to undo this again. And I'm going to show you what happens if you drag too much. Then it erases too much. So I would undo that. Okay, and I just want to select the stuff that I want to erase. Now, that's if there's a solid white background, which this one doesn't have. Okay, so it's going to be a little trickier, but I'm going to see if I can do that. So I'm going to choose the alpha, and I'm going to probably have to do it in sections. So I have that selected, alpha tool. I'm going to click and drag. Oops, a little too much. So right there, right there, right there. Let's go over here, right there, right there. Now there's the trees, although the trees might even be able to stay because there are trees in the background. In fact, let me undo that and see how that looks. I do want to get rid of the white frame around the outside though. Okay, let's see how this looks now. Still kind of a frame around the outside. And actually there is another way that I can get rid of the frame. There is a tool right here. There's a button. It looks like a box. This is the mask or crop tool. If I click on that, it will give me a box and it will let me edit the border or the mask around this picture. And it will only leave what I leave in the box. So if I do that, a little bit down so I get the tires, and now I click out of it, I've gotten rid of the frame around the outside, make that a little smaller. I could, just while I'm working on this picture, make it a whole lot bigger, just so I can eliminate the stuff around the outside, and then I could make it the size that I want again. Okay, so if I put the card like that, we are going to come back and animate each slide. We're going to animate the text and we're going to animate the pictures on each slide. But we're first going to create all the slides with all the images on them. So I'm going to make my next slide. I'm going to go and take a look at my story, see what comes next. We were having a great time and decided to go swimming in the lake. Okay, so remember to copy, it's Command C, and I'll show you again. If I just click copy right there, it's not going to let me do it. Command C. Command C. I'm going to delete what's already there, and Command V to paste. I'm going to make that text bigger. Okay, and of course you can change the font as well, but I was going to come back and do all of that later on. Make it nice and easy to see. Okay, so now we're having a great time, decided to go swimming in a lake. So what is my action that I'm trying to show? It's not just a picture of a lake, but it's someone swimming in a lake. So first I'm going to search for lake. So new image search, lake, images. Okay, when you do an image search, each image that you point to gives you some information. It tells you the size of it and it tells you what website it comes from. Okay. It is kind of important to see what size it is because there are some images that are really small and they are going to look blurry. Now the numbers that you see here are not going to mean very much to you. Okay, but there is a way where you can tell Google Image Search that you only want to see large size images. And that's up here in the search tools. If I click on search tools, I can change the size so it only shows me large size images. Now most of those that showed me were large size images, but I want to choose a picture that's large and I can show someone swimming. So let's see what would work. There's a nice one right here. I'm going to click on that one. Okay, I need to get to my slide. Okay, so now I clicked on it once. Now I'm going to drag it in. Okay, drop it. Okay, nice big picture. Up to the corner. It looks like it's almost exactly the same size as the slide. So great. Okay, and now I need I need to send it to the back. So arrange, send to back. And I can clearly see that text up in the sky. Okay, I need a swimmer. So I could look for a swimmer here, same way I looked for a car, but there's another program that we used that you can also get images from. And I'm going to show you how to get images from Inspiration. So I'm going to go into Inspiration, and most of them are drawings, but that's okay. We're making kind of a fun story, and so you can use illustrations on top of photographs. I'm going to go to New Diagram. I'm going to, I can do a search right here for swim. I want to keep it as simple as possible. And let's see if I can find a swimmer. Oh, there's a swimmer. Let's see what he looks like. Sure. All right, so I'm going to erase the text because I don't want any text. I'm going to click on the picture. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go to my slide and edit, paste. There he is. He looks really small, but I can make him bigger. And he actually stays pretty clear. He's maybe a little too big there. Swimming. Okay. Okay, we're going to make him swim across the lake when it comes time to animate. Okay, and this slide is about done for now. So the rest of your slides you can create pretty much the same way. I'm going to go back to my title slide, and it's a little bit boring the way it is. I'm going to make the text a little fancier. I can make my name a little bit fancier. Maybe a little bit bigger. And maybe another image. So I could use the pen tool, which is found under shapes, and I can actually draw something myself if I wanted to. So you don't have to draw yourself, but it is another way you can add images. I can draw a continuous shape by just clicking every time that I want a corner. So let me see, if I just want to draw something simple like a shark, let's see, some teeth. Not the best shark in the world, but it works. And then when you click back to where you started, it will complete that shape. Oops, that's the background. Okay, and then if I click on the edge of it, I could actually go and fill that shape in. Okay, and I can add, if I want to add something else, like an eyeball, go and add an eyeball. Don't know what color a shark's eyes are. Fine. Not the best shark in the world, but it works. If you want to group different objects together, click on one, hold down the Shift key on your keyboard, click on the other one. These are now grouped together, and I can keep them grouped together also under the Arrange menu and go to Group. And now they are one object that moves together. So I can do that with anything. I can do that even with pictures from the internet.